Monday's meeting back to its normal time and place because we were having some conflicts with scheduling and things like that. So Monday, we'll be back in here 1:30 to 2:30. We're going to hear Senate Bill 279 next week. And because of the high number of conferees on both sides we're anticipating, I'm going to start 1:30 sharp. So to the extent everybody can try to be here as close on time so you get a chance to hear everybody, I think it'd be very, very good. And I'll just repeat that for anybody else who comes in here a little bit later on. So we're going to today to do final action on House Bill 2321, requiring electric public utilities to notify cities prior to construction of urban electric transmission lines. We heard this yesterday, but just as a reminder, I'm going to have our advisor, Mr. Sterling, give us a quick overview of the bill. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, committee. So as a reminder, House Bill 2321 would require an electric utility to provide notification to a city and landowners prior to construction of an urban electric transmission line within the boundaries of a city. So prior to constructing the line, the utility would be required to provide 6 months notice to the city, all the preliminary construction plans and visual examples showing the proposed locations and dimensions of the poles and supporting facilities. Then the utility would also be required to provide an open house to discuss the proposed line and to provide notice of that open house at least 1 week prior to the open house, and provide that to landowners and tenants of record and individuals located within 660 feet of the easement, the governing body of the city through which the line would pass, and the KCC. The notice of the open house would be required to be published in a newspaper having general circulation in the city. And in conducting the open house, the utility would be required to allow for public comment regarding the proposed construction. They would have to have a KCC commissioner and staff person there, and would have to hold the meeting either on the weekend or during the week after 5 p.m. I'd be happy to try to answer questions that the committee might have.
Thank you, sir. Committee, any questions? Senator Hawk.
Matt, thank you. I just wanted to clarify. This only applies to cities of over 300,000, and it does not apply to rural electrics. Is that correct?
Mr. Revive, I'm pretty sure that's right, Matt.
So it only applies to cities over 300,000, and it only applies to electric utilities and excludes municipal utilities and electric co-ops.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And also a reminder that in testimony yesterday, Evergy said they'd been working with the folks in the communities, and they admitted that was an oversight on their part. And the KCC also mentioned that the 6-month time limit was likely necessary because they have a very small staff, and getting around to hearings like this will be difficult for them, and sometimes you have to schedule it 6 months out. So committee, any other discussion before we move on? Senator Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of a question I asked, one thing that's encouraging to me, I don't know that we need to put everything that we recognize as problems into statute. Clearly, I think it helps in this particular case. And I think what happened in this particular case could happen in municipalities that are less than 300,000, but I was encouraged that the utility company felt like they had learned from this and would be sensitive to that. And I hope and give this committee credit that by having a hearing on this and hopefully passing a bill like this and having the discussion we had, that we won't have a similar problem in other less populated areas, that I do believe our citizens are affected and should have the right to know about what will be happening. And So I think we've done good work, assuming we're going to pass this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And I would agree. I think, that it kind of opened the utilities' eyes to the problem, and hopefully they will be responsive, and hopefully we won't have to come back here and pass a lower threshold on the city size. Any other discussion? Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick comment. I was pleased that the utilities did continue working on this. I know that they had paid $1 million in grants to the community in that area to be specifically used in there, yet they still continued on working with the stakeholders and the people involved to get the policy up. So I think it's going to be taken care of for at least that utility for a while.
Thank you, Senator. Any other questions? Any other discussion? Do I hear a motion, or what is the will of the body on this, or the committee on this? Senator Francisco?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would make a motion that the committee pass out House Bill 2321 favorably, and that because it's of a non-controversial nature, we ask that it be put on the consent calendar.
We have a motion by Senator Francisco and a second by Senator Peterson to put it on the consent calendar. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Seeing no nays, the ayes have it. And so House Bill 2321 has passed out and is now heading to the Senate floor. That is really all the work that we had on the schedule for today. Just a reminder for Senator Gorsuch and Senator Hawk, who came in late, that we are going to start 1:30 sharp on Monday and Tuesday because we have Senate Bill 279. We've got a lot of conferees. We won't be operating on Senate time on Monday and Tuesday. Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I didn't bring my Senate calendar with me. Are we on general orders or pro forma on Monday?
Monday might be pro forma, I think. But because the time is of the essence on this one, I'm afraid I need to get the hearing in. And we had originally had a 3-hour joint hearing held for that one. Yes, Senator Francisco.
My concern was not that we don't meet on Monday, but if we might consider extending the time.
Let's see, yeah.
That's a possibility if we don't have enough time.
Okay.
So that's something that maybe.
We may consider that. The only concern I have is that I want to give equal time to both sides on this, so we'll kind of see how it goes. But I appreciate that sentiment. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, we will see you back here on Monday, 1:30 sharp, and thank